Nick Richmond. I'm here with Karen in Glenview, Illinois, to take you through a tour of this beautiful basement. Karen, thank you for your business. We appreciate your trust in Matrix. Tell us a little bit about how you found Matrix and how did you learn of us?
I found them on Instagram. I had committed to do the basement and I started just looking around and I started getting your ads and saw there was just something unique in the design of the Matrix basements, which is what caused me to reach out. I had already talked to a couple other companies, but that's how it started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that. Obviously, we'll put your basement on Instagram too, and it's nice to have something you can look at to get inspiration. There's a lot of questions I have for you about the inspiration of this basement because you did some really creative things down here. Turned out beautiful. Tell us a little bit about the process. Kind of how did things go working with us from when you first found us on Instagram all the way through completion?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your experience with Matrix.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I will say it's very efficient, which for me is a huge selling point. I had the initial meeting where Matrix came to my house and had a very kind of thorough discussion on what the process would be, which made me feel on that day I signed up. And doing that so quickly, sometimes you wonder, is it going to go okay? But it went great. In short order, we had set kind of a preliminary timeline. I met with the next person and we started the design process right away. He was incredibly helpful.
Good.
So I started to see how the basement would orient. I was originally thinking it would, kind of flip the other way, but he had some great ideas. And we just started staying on pace such that it happened in a really, I think, pretty impressive timeline for this sort of project.
Cool.
Yeah.
So things evolved, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
You started with a kind of a basic plan, and then you met with our production manager.
Yes.
Started adding more pizzazz to the space, and it turned out really good.
Thank you.
I can't wait to walk around and show everyone some of the features of the basement. Overall, you're happy with the quality of the
Absolutely.
outcome?
Absolutely.
Good. Well, we're here for you if you ever need us for anything.
Thank you.
But doing this today is great. We appreciate you joining me for this. We're going to walk around the space now and show you some of these features. So Karen, I wanted to start with this nook over here. This is really, really brilliant, the way that we designed this. And I understand this was your inspiration. Tell me a little bit about where you found this idea, kind of how it came to you, and we'll show those watching kind of how we concealed some of the obstacles.
I was dealing with a space here because I have behind these doors some water pipes and other pipes that stick out on either side. I was initially thinking that maybe we would tuck the TV back here because there was this dead space, and your designer suggested, like I said, that we flip it. So we talked about making it a closet, and that didn't feel right to me. I didn't feel like I had so much storage in the back anyway. And so I think I might have even seen on your website or Instagram that someone had done something like this. Mm-hmm. And so we just made it a really big reading nook. It's quite large. I got the cushion made on Etsy. It was very easy to do. I did put some storage underneath the cushion because I knew even though my kids are grown, I may eventually have a family with young kids that wants to store things. So it has a ton of storage underneath as well.
So behind this door, we have your water meter.
The water meter shutoff is right there.
Yeah, your main.
Yep.
And every home has this. It's just a matter of where it lives. But we're working around this, typically a sump pump or maybe an ejector pit.
Ejector pump, yeah.
Over here on this side, I'm guessing, or sewer line.
Yeah.
So having that flanking this space, I can see why a closet may have made sense, but I do think this is a much better choice. Yeah. And it turned out really cool. Now, who uses this space primarily?
A variety. My one son who's 20 will have friends over and they'll come hang out there. And sometimes I will come down to read. I put these little tables so you can have a drink and just relax, and it's pretty cozy, and I find it a place that I'm always kind of trying to have a reason to come sit in and enjoy it.
This looks like a good place to escape.
Yes.
I think that's what I would do, is come down here and escape.
Especially in cold winter, and it's really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Karen, another really cool feature that I love is this entertainment wall and how it complements that nook that we just looked at. Share with me the inspiration of this and kind of how this evolved to become what we see now.
Yeah, I love it too. It allows us to kind of make great use of the space and have big crowds when we need it. The inspiration, again, came from looking at other projects that you have done, and I just kind of adapted it to the style that I was going to have down here. And it's been great. Having some type of fire feature just makes it so much cozier. And we even turn it on during the summer without the heat, which is nice. And I also loved having the additional benches and the options. So if we have a party, you know, people will kind of sit there as well as the couch and walk around. So it's allowed us to have like larger crowds down here, which is nice.
And I love the shiplap too. And we took that coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
I think that was a really nice touch putting that here as well. It almost feels like a perfect basement for a video shoot.
And I figure you could always paint it down the road if the white shiplap goes out. So it gives me some flexibility going forward.
It turned out great. Does this throw off any heat?
It does.
It does. Okay, so that's nice too, to warm up the space, turn the heat on, especially on a cold day like this. So Karen, can you touch on a little bit about how Matrix made it easy for you to get through this process, especially when it comes to the more intricate details? I know you talked earlier about that we had that plan review, but tell us a little bit more about how this evolved, and were there changes made, I guess, during the construction process too, where you guys had to talk, with the production manager to figure out how to work around certain obstacles?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were able, right from the get-go, they were really experienced and kind of knew we'd have to factor in those obstacles. So I didn't feel like too much came as a surprise.
Good.
They kind of said, let's be mindful of this pipe or whatever when we do the design, which helped a lot. And then as things were taking shape and I was describing what I wanted, they would sketch it out. I felt like I got really good renderings and the drawings and had a sense of what it would look like, and they would tweak it for me. And the design process too, I was able to do most of this, like the floors and the cabinets, with what your standard offerings were, which was also a concern I had. Would I get upcharged continuously? And that did not happen. The one part that I was a little nervous, some of the bathroom I had to pick out myself, and I was thinking, can I do all that? How will that go? But I would text real time with Matrix, and I would have a question: what size do I need here? What am I looking for? And they gave me very specific directions and links of ideas, and I was able to do it just from my couch at home and order things, and it was great.
And did you use Builder Trend? Were you using the software to interact? And how did you like the program that we have for the production side?
That was fantastic. That was key to avoiding any frustration in the construction process, because you knew when people were coming to your house. And if it adjusted, they updated it right away. And it just gave a sense of, it wasn't up in the air. You really knew what your target completion date was. I was pretty firm that I wanted it completed before Christmas, and they met that deadline, and it happened, and did everything they needed to do to make sure we stayed on track.
You gonna have friends and family over for the holidays?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So we have a great place to do that.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you for sharing that feedback with us.
Yeah, it was great.
So a few questions I have for you, mainly about the ceiling. First of all, the black ceiling, I believe, turned out beautiful. But talk to us a little bit about that, because I think some people, either they're dead set, they want that painted black ceiling, or they're skeptical. They're not so sure how it's going to turn out. And then I see in here we did a drywalled ceiling in the bedroom. So can you share with us a little bit about those selections and kind of what was going through your mind when you were making these choices, and kind of how you feel about it now?
Well, I love the black ceiling, I will say. It was a distinguishing feature when I was looking at Matrix, but it was a little bit of a leap of faith. It did give me a little anxiety, to make sure it would work out. But I will tell you, when people come over, everyone talks about it. My kids and their friends all say they think it just is such a cool basement, and I think it's in large part the ceiling adds to it. I did not do it in here because I wanted to be a cozy bedroom, and I just felt like it made sense to do this differently, and we have make it be a place that someone could comfortably stay with a closet. It's near the bathroom. So that's why I switched it out here.
And I love the double doors too.
Yes, that gives it a lot more room, and it kind of echoes the other parts of the basement.
Makes it feel a lot more open.
Right.
Everything turned out great. And this makes a lot of sense. I think this is something we see quite often is, doing drywall or a drop ceiling even at times in the bedroom space gives more privacy.
Yeah.
But the painted black turned out awesome too.
Yes, we love it.
I want to thank you, Karen, for walking us through your basement. It turned out beautiful. Looks like Wrigley's really enjoying it too.
He loves it. He loves it.
Is there anything you'd like to share with those watching? I know there's people who are going to see this that are considering finishing their basement. Probably have a lot of the same thoughts going through their mind that you had when you were going down your journey. Can you share anything in parting words?
I would just say, well, thank you. It was a really fantastic experience, and I can be a tough customer in a lot of things. So you lived up to expectations. Everyone loves it in our family. The only thing we say is we wish we had done it sooner, because it has really transformed how we use our house, and it was just such a good use of our money.
Well, we appreciate your business and happy
thank you so
holidays.
much.
Have
Thank
a lot
you
of
so
fun
much.
down here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, and thank you for watching.